This is Auto Collabs.
My favorite's when we start any of these laughing. Actually, our guest today, the very literally the first time I met her was just a little over a month ago. And within 13 seconds of us meeting, we were laughing. So I'm sure that this might be the thread that carries today. We'll see.
Well, it just might be. I mean, we're going to be talking about customer defection. So what's more of a laughing matter than customer defection?
Super serious. Paul.
Oh, sorry. We're serious
Super
now.
serious. We're serious.
Customer defection. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I don't even know what to say.
I'm not sure if I'm laughing because of the way you said that or the fact that there's no way you've been thinking about that recently.
Just as much as I've been thinking about, like web tech
sheets and other things.
Right after my time in the morning where I think about web tech, I switched to customer defection.
That's great.
That's why I have you.
Oh, man. Well, we hope you enjoy this conversation with a new friend we're going to make today, Kristine Lentz. Oh, man. Kristine, it is so good to have you here today. Thanks for joining us today on Auto Collabs.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
All right. So there's two things that we gotta tick off first. This is the very first podcast you've ever been on. Is that correct?
That is correct. But it's with the podcast that I watch the most. So it is a big privilege for me to be here.
Well, she knows how to start this podcast.
See, that's all I needed. See, I'll take that as the good because I also found out you're from Michigan, which as an Ohio State and Ohio person is maybe the bad, but we'll get over that. I want to get into give us, because the audience wouldn't know you because you've never been on a podcast. Give us the background. How did you get in auto and how did you get where you're at today?
Yeah, so I have a sales background. And one of my old coworkers gave me a call one day and said, "Hey, I'm working at an awesome company. You should come and join us." So I started at Urban Science, which is the wonderful platform to start your career in automotive. And I've been here for about 6 years now. So it's history since then.
Let me ask you this. Had you ever thought about the car industry before that? Were you in the car industry before that?
So being, growing up close to Detroit, it's always a possibility, right? Most people I know are in the automotive industry. I grew up going to the auto show every year, so it's kind of in my blood. It wasn't a far leap for me.
What did you think about car dealers, though? Before, the auto industry is one thing, and now I frame of reference Detroit, right? The auto industry means something totally different when you're in that area than most of the rest of the country. When you think the auto industry, you think dealerships and dealers. When Detroit, you're thinking all the manufacturing. And so did you have a perception of car dealers before you worked? I mean, you did. Yes. What was it?
Yes. So of course I've purchased a car before, and so it's everything seems much simpler on the outside when you're just being the customer. Mm-hmm. And talking to the dealers and understanding how many levels of obstacles they're overcoming, the things they're following and tracking and diving into really gives you an entirely different perspective of what they're trying to do every day to day. So I have way more appreciation for them. And yeah, it's been awesome.
It does have to be interesting to start. I think about really any industry that you look at that you haven't been a part of. And when you start in auto at a data company, mm-hmm. and you start to think, oh, this is like a ridiculous amount of data floating around and being looked at and watched, that I would have, because the car business is they make cars and those salespeople are out front and the technicians are underneath. But the data that day one you started having to understand and consume, give us a little bit of that history of, I came in and was there kind of this whoa, this is a lot more than I thought. And give us some of the things along the way, the last 6 years that you've been man, I didn't even know that data could even exist or be available. That is now kind of part of just, that's everyday life for me.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm privileged to start my journey at Urban Science because there's so much data here, so many cool things. And so, yeah, when anyone starts new at our company, I say you're drinking out of a fire hose to try to understand all of this, but somehow in the blink of an eye, you can catch it all. And so we have really great people who have guided me through, kind of understanding all of this. But I actually started on our support team. So I didn't work on the data side as much, but I knew it and could kind of continue to understand how it impacted our business. And then as I continued to grow, I would be like, I'm going to jump in that call and I want to know more about what this is, And so I've continued to pick that up. And then that has guided me along to now managing the team that I started on.
I got to know.
Mm.
You have such a happy disposition,
Yes.
but you just said you started on the support side of things.
So I will say that was one of my favorite roles.
That's why they put her there, Michael.
I
Tell me
love
more.
working with people.
Were you raised with a happy disposition? Is this something you learned to develop? I mean, I've got to ask because we're big on unreasonable hospitality. AMJ, who you know, one of our directors, she's very big on the hospitality side of things, and but this doesn't look like a forced smile. You said support with a smile. I need to know where that comes from.
Yeah, so I would say I'm very passionate about people. I love to understand what makes people tick, what makes them grow, what they like. And so I find it super rewarding to work in a role of, I call it, like I always say right now, my style of leadership is servant leadership. I want to understand how to grow others, help and support others. And so, working in a support role, there is a lot of difficult things. People are usually not calling just to say hey, right? Something's usually going wrong or they want to tell you they need something. But the opportunity to be able to help and grow somebody, that feels super rewarding to me. So, now in my role, I'm able to do that with my team and through clients. And so that really, jazzes me and makes me excited. We have to work to live, but we should work at jobs that fulfill us and make us happy. And
I have a follow-up here. I have a follow-up here.
It's fantastic.
So, Kristine, this is the first time you've done this. Is that right? Oh, got it. All right. Very funny. Got us. Where's the cameras?
She has a checklist in front of her. The first checklist item she started with was make Paul, Kyle, and Michael blush. And then she was like, and then, okay, but I got to ask you about this. So coming into the industry, to Kyle's question, starting on the support team, what were, you mentioned that dealers have a lot of different problems that they're trying to solve. When they come to you, they're looking to solve a problem. What are maybe some of the common problems you saw at first that the data you guys supply was able to solve for them?
Yeah, so dealers are coming to us and they want to know how they can be the best, right? And they want to know what they can do, to continue to grow themselves. And I think a lot of dealers, right, they have a feeling of like, oh, my, dad owned this dealership and he's done it this way for 100 years, or this is the way we've always done stuff. Why is it not working now? And we faced some huge changes in the automotive industry, right? COVID flipped things upside down. You couldn't even go in and do a test drive. You couldn't, you're, passing along keys through containers, like all this crazy stuff was going on.
I forgot about that.
Was like another huge hurdle. One of my favorite sayings is that dealers are like, and anyone in the automotive industry, we're like cockroaches. Like you can throw anything at us and we will survive.
That's kind of true, actually.
That is the most positive way I've been called a cockroach.
Yeah.
That's all the best qualities of the cockroach.
Yes.
It's the best qualities of a cockroach, right? Yeah.
So they've been able to survive everything. And so, times change so quickly in automotive. And so our defection data has changed the game. I call it our North Star because, it will guide you into success every time. It's hard to look at sometimes at first because it's telling you what you're not doing well at or where there's some opportunity. So, you got to kind of put your ego, out the door, check that out, see where that opportunity is, and then you're really able to grow from that and say, okay, is it a staffing, thing where somebody maybe is taking care of internet leads when they're better at showroom, or is it inventory? Is it our marketing in certain areas? And so we're able to uncover all of that for dealers. So it's not a guessing game. It's not following something you've done that you're frustrated about, but it's really guiding you to actual success through the data.
It's actually a really tough thing. Like you say it, you kind of said it with a smile, with like, you got to set your ego aside. We're about to tell you all the bad areas. That's not I don't think that's easy for any person, especially a car dealer, especially someone that's maybe in sales, to kind of look at that and go, I think our typical tendency, and maybe you hear this a lot, is to go, well, I see that that's what the data says, but no, this one, you don't understand. The data doesn't understand that this is the truth. But over a broad spectrum of data, especially how many leads that we have coming into the CRM, you can really start to get a bead on like where, we talked to the team at Wide Whale on like the post sales type stuff, even, or the customer interaction from a review perspective. And every time there's a bead, and sometimes it's not even where you thought that you had an issue. Do you have any stories of like dealers that are like, oh, I'm convinced this is where my team has issues, and you look at the data and you're like, actually, that's going pretty well. Over here is actually, you kind of were missing this on the side.
What we get a lot of times when we're even doing the setup, we haven't even started showing them everything yet. They're like, cut out these lead sources. They're all, crap. They don't bring us anything. They're not real leads, right? And I always say, give us a shot. Let us take a peek at them. Let us just have everything in there. We can take things out and edit it. And we'll open that, Pandora's box, and we'll say, uh-oh. So yeah, they're not purchasing from you, which you already know, but they're purchasing, and these leads are buying in brand. And look how much opportunity you had. And we can dive it all the way down to when that customer does purchase. And so, maybe you guys only reach out for the first week, and these customers reach out on the or purchase on the second week. So you stopped reaching out when you needed to. So, yes, it is hard to kind of digest that and take that hit to your ego, but you're going to gain so much more when you do. What we've found is about 20% of leads in your CRM have already purchased elsewhere. So even if you're having a hard time swallowing that pill, understanding that I can take 20% of the leads that I'm right now having to follow up with, which are burning me out, and you can make me, actually follow up with things that have more of a chance of actually giving you a bonus, some money, you're probably going to want to at least do that. So it gives you
anybody
some opportunity
in a BDC ever is like clapping right now. They're like, don't give me the ones that have already bought. That's amazing.
Yeah, stop following up with them, right? So it's not only about just not following up with them anymore and burning out, but it's also about pivoting your messaging, right? If I'm, spam texting you, you're probably going to block me. You're like, get out of here. Stop bothering me. And that breaks the line of communication for the future. So if I know, hey, you've purchased somewhere else, Kyle, but I know that you've purchased in brand, then I can say, hey, I'm going to send you a congratulations on your new vehicle, and maybe an offer to come, to my dealership for service. And then I can build a relationship with you and then hopefully sell to you in the future. So it's really about being able to do a step from learning from that defection.
If someone opts out of communication, like text messaging, for instance, does that have a shelf life? Like, does that reset after like 2 years, or is that forever?
I'm not sure if it's forever. What I do know, though, personally, when I purchased a car and they spam me for 100 years, when I put leads in, I do block you. I'm like, get out of here. Leave me alone.
Stop all caps.
Yes. When you block that phone number or that email address, right? Like, I'm totally done with it. And so that I know is forever. And that chance of getting in touch with me in the future, is none.
It's super fun when you're getting reached out to by 2 different tools the dealership's using.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Double the spam.
Guys, I still get reached out to for a lead on a 2010 Nissan Pathfinder that I submitted 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, they're still trying to get me to trade in my 2012 Nissan Sentra.
Oh, I'm getting handwritten letters from Drivers Village in Syracuse telling me that they need my Dodge Durango that I haven't owned for like 9 years now. They need that car right now.
Exactly.
Mike Ashby. I'll tell you his name too. I'll say it right there. Mike Ashby.
Wow.
Hand wrote me a letter.
Him out.
Yeah. I've known Mike for a long time.
But once
My,
you know that and they've sent you that wrong messaging, like just like we're laughing about here, but you now don't think of them as credible,
No,
right?
you don't
So you
trust it. You're
sever
like, you
that
don't know
Trust.
tie.
anything. You're just a
Trust is
dealer
thrown out
trying
the
to
door.
like throw something random over and hoping I
Yeah.
bite on it. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
anything you're going to offer me is right. You're just trying to see if
Yeah,
I bite.
of course. So sending that right message at the right time is important to know and get back to.
Yes. Yeah. I think our work here is done. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
We just got to run that segment right there and we'll all get in trouble. It'd be awesome.
Well, yeah. Oh,
What?
I hope that didn't come through. I got a phone call and it sounded like it came through in my ears. Didn't come
Well,
through to
if
you?
you didn't tell us, we
Nope.
wouldn't have known.
Ah, well, okay. So I want to go to something that you talked about earlier because it actually relates to this, or you talked about in some of the questions that we had beforehand, and you have a particular desire to see the human touch, like accentuated in like the human to human interaction accentuated in the car buying process. With a company that's so obsessed with data, how do you personally keep that at the forefront and then think about that when it comes to the retail environment?
Yeah, so that's our way my entire team is structured is about being there in, actually talking to a human. When you're frustrated and you get an AI bot, how annoying is that? You're like, get me to a human. What is happening? So if you call our support team or you chat in or you email, there is a live person talking to you. And if you sign up with us as a client, you get assigned one of my specialists who's going to break down the data, show you the most important things, and you have access to their phone number and email as well. So, that needs to be at the forefront. And we hear about that from, people who are using competitors, right? It's like, and they'll tell us, hey, can you help me with this? I said, I wish I could, but I don't work at that company. I don't have access to anything there. And then they'll say, okay, well, we're going to come over to you. I'm like, well, I am a human. You can find me. I am real. So, that human touch makes all the difference. And when we look at outreach to rate dealers have the same thing, right? If they are selling a vehicle, they want to talk to somebody and say, I need to understand what features this car has, or, I want to be walked through this process of, financing or whatever it may be. And it can be a big decision in order to purchase this car. So, making sure that when your customers and that life cycle of a customer is key in this, because then you know when to use AI and when not to. So, you can hone in and say most of the, defections are in this window. We're going to put our people on that to really capture it. And then if we have, much less loss in this time period, then maybe that's when we throw in the AI bot. But, using that defection data to really hone in on, when are they less likely to purchase versus when they're actually, still there. And then, like I said, taking out that 20% of the leads makes you not have to just spam everyone. And you have the opportunity to then say, everybody I'm talking to right now hasn't purchased, and it's a smaller pool, but I can actually have the time and energy to send them something personalized instead of having, hundreds of leads that I just write a copy and paste, thing to because I'm burnt out and tired and I know none of them are going to answer me.
I think I was actually thinking about this morning. It was crazy. I was trying to consider because Sora came out, right? And it's like this idea of just blitz of AI generated content, blitz of AI communication. And I think the flip is that, and this is similar to like anything that has to do with speed or volume. When you remove speed and volume, you increase premium. And so I think what I'm hearing you say is this thing that I'm going to start running with a little bit is that to be human or interact with human is actually premium. That's what you get when you get premium. Everything else is just volume and speed and meant to increase the transactional side of things. And to be human will be premium. Like people will pay more.
Would you say maybe put that as like hospitality is the new luxury? Maybe.
Yeah.
My kids would do this. They'd be like,
they snap like that. They're going to snap like that. They're going to Gen Z.
So you know what that means? I just went around. I learned that just last night. So I'm trying to flex on everybody. I know. You know what that means though?
Yes.
She's like, I know.
And I just learned this as well. So I'm learning
What's
all
this?
the fun things.
What's this?
What's?
It is it's a heart. So you do a little heart with your
Paul.
hands.
Oh
Come
no!
on, it's K-pop. What is going on,
Can we
Paul?
rewind? Can we rewind the tape to yesterday when I was standing in your office, Paul, and your daughter did that to me, and I'm
Well,
like,
no.
I don't know what that is.
This is wrong. It's this.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well,
But she did
They've all
something.
the cool things.
And then Kristine, I
Christine's
kid you
she's
not,
dialed.
I was like, I'm still trying to wrap my hands around that.
Yes.
And you
There
just,
went. And
I
it's a
feel like,
heart.
guys, can
See,
we?
yeah.
We did
Can we
everything we
wind
needed
this
to for
down
the
with some,
people
like-
today. They
I'm
got
gonna
the
wind
Gen
this
Z
down with
snap.
some-
I'm about to
Gen
make a
Z heart.
I'm about to make an educational LinkedIn post.
It's unbelievable.
It's
Of
about
hand signs.
and see, it's communication at the right point. You gotta get the right kind of thing at the right time to the right
Yeah.
person.
Can we
And I've learned to keep my mouth shut when I do it, because if I say the thing that they say,
Oh.
it's going to be all wrong. So
You can't try the lingo, because I've learned this from my employees. We have amazing staff, and they are teaching me how to be a better manager and these fun little things too. So in our one-on-ones, as we go back to saying I'm an animal lover, I do one-on-ones with my team, and then sometimes a fun pet might jump in too. So I usually have that on request, like, let me see your cat, let me see your dog, like, let's connect. And so I virtually will say, and this is my favorite employee, your cat is my favorite. So
yes.
you get a little bit of everything with us. But
Well, I'm glad I
yeah.
derailed us completely, but we were talking about hospitality being the new luxury.
Well,
Right? Would you say that?
Can I derail us even further? Because I
Why
feel like
not? While I'm at it, go ahead.
we're talking about human connection here in the end, and I agree with everything that's being said. But I feel like it's only fitting, guys, as we wind this down, to since it's your first podcast appearance, that we just barrage you with get to know you questions.
All right.
Do it. Oh yes, yes. I like it. I like
Do you
it.
know what I
Let's do
mean?
it.
Like, I need to know, like,
Pop it up.
yeah. Sports. Are you into sports? Who's your team? Not into sports.
And not into
are
sports,
you-
but Lions. Lions are, because I'm a Detroit girl, so, and they are making a comeback. So I'm rooting for them.
It's fun to
They've
be-
done a lot
okay.
for the city. So
Yes.
the
Okay,
Lions. I don't know
Lions.
what's happening, but I'm celebrating.
But everyone seems excited, so am I. I can respect that.
Music. Are you into music?
Yes, I like all different kinds of music. I just went to a Somber concert. If you guys have heard of him, I was definitely the oldest person there, though. So it's a little bit, but he makes amazing music, and I would say if you saw him at the VMAs, give him another shot, because that was not.
There's a caveat
She's
to
not
this
only
guy.
a fan, she's defending him.
Wow.
You gotta go full out. Yeah.
Okay, somber. I don't know what other
Favorite
question-
candy, snack, whatever.
my
What do
gosh.
you go with?
I mean, is there any other option other than Nerds Clusters? I mean,
Oh,
they
no.
That's what I was
Oh, what a
expecting.
call. What a call. My
Nerds
goodness.
Club- Okay, hold on. I have one. First car.
Ford Fusion.
Oh,
What color?
wow.
Which color? I can see
Black.
this.
Ah, so Detroit. So Detroit. That's great.
It's very Detroit.
I mean, how
Gonna do
controversial is
Ford.
the
I'm a
pizza
local
question?
girl.
How controversial is the pizza question? The Detroit style versus Chicago versus New York.
So I'm Italian, so this is where we get real dicey in here, okay?
Oh no. We've done Lost Michael.
You need wood-fired oven or nothing. This is what I'm
Wood
saying.
fire. Oh, we got this
Yeah.
place we got to take you in Syracuse. It's absolutely amazing, by the way. So,
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Christine,
It's
this is the new. This is instead of this.
it's
the-
Italian for I love
Double
you
hearts.
twice. Oh no.
I'm
Okay,
gonna go
okay.
to sleep after this one.
Oh my. Okay, so this is where I have to jump in because we are past time. We're having so much fun, which is fantastic. Kristine, thank you so much for giving some of your time and honoring us by being the very first podcast appearance anywhere in the world. May it be the first of many. Thanks for joining us today on Auto Collabs.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been a blast.
Guys, I don't know if you had the same thing happen during that interview, but she smiles so much that my cheeks hurt.
That's it.
Right? This has
Amazing.
been happening a lot lately, by the way. We're seeing comments on our social profiles about people clapping, but they're sitting in their rooms by
Why
themselves.
am I clapping
watching-
by myself in my room?
Yeah, why am I? And smiles are infectious. Like there needs to be like some sort of a more than cars shirt that's like something to do with smiles. I don't know, like chief smile officer or like I don't know, because they're so contagious.
Smiles are contagious.
That could be a thing.
We used to have a podcast called Contagious.
And a company.
It all comes around somewhere. Here's the thing that one, to be able to walk up to or into a meeting with a dealer and go, this is where it's not going well for you, and them come out hopeful as opposed to defeated it's got to be a serious art. And it sounds like she has got that team dialed into that, which is really hopeful for me, for the industry.
Yeah.
You know what strikes me is this. It's 2025. There are still people in this world, this blows my mind, that are making gut decisions. Like, think about that. Even a gut decision, if you peel back that onion layer, even a gut decision is based on trillions of data points that you're not even realizing you're intaking, that have created a bias in you, that has given you that. It's still all data. But when you talk about, the kind of data we're talking about here, the degree of conclusivity behind it, that's a good decision, that's not a good decision. This is an area of growth development opportunity. This is not. To remove the visceral kind of like, I don't know where I'm getting my data from, but I'm getting data, to a more authoritative source it should be commonplace. It should be more commonplace than it is.
Well, I think there's a lot to think about here. I think also there's a lot to do. This is one of those things where every dealer, I think, can look at this data and say, you know what, I can do something about this to make it better. Like, it makes a lot of sense. I don't want my BDC to be burnt out. I don't want to be wasting my time. Yep. And in an era when people are looking at AI for like efficiencies, paying attention to like, how can I maximize the value of the human to human connection I can get and create inside my business by not spinning my tires, not closing doors on my team. And so I think this is an episode that's applicable to just everyone that's running a store right now. So all that being said, we have to go smile somewhere else. On behalf of Kyle Mountsier, Michael Cirillo, and myself, thank you as always for listening to Auto Collabs.
Welcome to Auto Collabs. Why are we recording?
Are we rolling yet?